Hello and welcome to Anime Happy Hour, episode 20. Welcome into Anime Happy Hour. I'm John Fragglepuss Evans.
And I'm Brianne Evans.
Today we're going to be talking about Madoka Magica, an anime that we reluctantly watched.
Right, we were like, oh, a magical girls? That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was our anime group, SLC Anime. Somebody recommended it, and so we were forced to watch it, and boy, am I glad we did.
Oh, it's changed the way I look at anime, really.
It's great.
So good.
But we'll get more into that later. For those of you that don't know about Madoka Magica, it's about an 8th grader, and she has a loving family, best friends, a seemingly normal life, but then one day she has an encounter with a magical girl and a witch. Like you do. So naturally this changes everything. She's sent through a labyrinth created by the witch. The mysterious magical girl saves her. Then her life never seems to go back to normal.
The thing with the witches is that caught my attention the first time I ever watched it, because it changes the art style. It kind of looks like paper figures, or you just go into this whole different dimension. It's just beautiful and crazy, and it makes you want to watch more. But it's still very confusing. Like, what is this?
That got me interested in the first episode. The witches, the art style, how it's something that I've never really seen in anime. Very unique. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then there was Kyubey, this cute little white rat thing that looked adorable and mysterious. And I kind of have seen things everywhere in the anime circuit. There's like animals or cute little pictures everywhere. People would use it. Yeah, I just didn't know what it was about. So watching the show, I'm like, oh, this is what everyone...
Adorable creature.
Yeah.
Maybe looks like a rabbit. Who knows?
He's adorable with his pink eyes.
So with Madoka Magica, there have been several types of media come out. There's the original series, which is 12 episodes. There are 3 movies that came out. There's also a video game that came out in 2012 on the PSP. What's fun about the video game is it allows you to take various routes, changing the fate of the original storyline. If you watch the show and want to change things, or don't want to, see if you can get the same results, you can play the game. I haven't yet, but it seems like it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Stressful too. One other that has a lot of people curious is in print media. So in the manga, there are several side stories or spin-offs, and they all start with the same start, Puella Magi, and then there's Kazumi Magica, Suzune Magica, Hamura Tamura, Kirara Magica. There's all sorts of different manga spin-offs or side stories, whether they're happening concurrently, showing a different point of view, or showing a spin-off of it. All sorts of different manga for it.
Yeah.
There's plenty if you love the series. And one other type of media that, kind of unofficial media, but I love it nonetheless, is one of our favorite AMVs of all time, called The Night Magi Cometh. So you can find this on YouTube or anywhere like that. I remember the first time I saw this and was just blown away.
Oh, people who haven't even seen it, the show, still enjoy this AMV.
It's a great one. I absolutely love it.
It's amazing.
This next section will contain spoilers. If you haven't seen the series, I suggest ending here, but we thank you for listening to this episode on Madoka Magica and really encourage you to go check it out.
Yes, and then come back and talk about it with us, because we have some fun things we want to
Great.
mention. Yeah.
So spoilers coming up. You've been warned.
So the thing I wanted to talk about was how, when I first started watching it, I'll admit I was a little confused. I enjoyed the art, I enjoyed the way it was portrayed, but I was having a hard time following because it's a little confusing, and you'll find out why when you watch it. But once I realized that Homura was going back in time, I was just blown away. I'm like, wait a minute. I had to rewatch it, because then I became obsessed with the idea that she had changed so much to try and save Madoka's life. You find, someone came out with how many times she'd gone back to try and save her, and it was over 100 times.
Something like that.
So about 12 years that she kept trying to go back until the final story happened. And I've always been fascinated, and I love time travel, and so this just broke my heart. That would be so hard to watch your friend die over and over, and it's like this fruitless. It is something that I don't think that they portray in many stories, about how heartbreaking it must be for one person to do that alone. And I was just my jaw dropped when I found out what had been happening. I was in tears, and I was out of town, and so you called me like, have you seen this? I'm like, what happens? It blew my mind. It was a little frustrating. What did you think?
The same.
It was just because another hard thing was at the very beginning when Mammy dies.
Oh, that was rough. Because I loved her character.
Cool.
She was so great. She was such a
guns.
great mentor. She had awesome gun
Giant.
fighting powers.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, you just love the magic powers they have.
Love the character. They kill her off so quick, and I was so bummed.
Yeah.
Thinking this character's awesome.
I know. And it was funny too how we kept thinking, why doesn't she just become a magical girl to Madoka, right? You don't find out until later why
so
she
much
doesn't.
that they hold out info on you. Like Cube. Oh, you think he's so great at first, and then he is just the worst.
Oh, he's the biggest jerk. No feelings, just harvesting these poor girls' despair and witches for their energy sources.
Oh, it's the worst.
It drove me crazy. But it made me think a lot about the kind of wish that you would make that would be worth basically giving up who you are. I couldn't think of a possible wish that would make me wanna... That's something to think about. In the end, when Madoka finally makes the wish that kind of saves the world and rewrites time, Madoka took on all their despair so they don't become witches and they just die normally. And it's such a cool sequence when she becomes godlike and just saves all their lives. And in the end, when it's this new timeline, Homura actually has memories of it all, right?
She's the only one that does.
But doesn't the brother kind of? Because he's got he draws a ribbon. I mean, we're led to believe he has some kind of
And
belief.
how crazy would that be? That only Homura knows the sacrifice that Madoka made and no one else knows.
I thought it was powerful.
Wild.
Yeah.
It's a lot to process.
It is, and there's a lot to discuss, and I just wanted us to talk about it because it's a show I think about. Even though I've seen it years ago, it's something I still think about.
It's one you can watch multiple times and get new information every time, especially the second time you watch it, knowing what's going on.
Just an amazing show. And
It's a great show, and it totally changed my mind about magical girls in anime, the deconstruction of the genre, making it dark, psychological, horror.
And
it's
beautiful.
Wild. So much so that since then I've watched more magical girl anime.
Yeah.
So the Magical Girl Raising Project came out, I want to say just a year ago or so, and I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed Madoka Magica more with how it delivered, but still, Magical Girl Raising Project, another good one.
Yeah, you liked that one a lot.
It was good. More carnage, psychologicalness, horrorness.
It's funny because I hate Cube so much that now everyone buys me Cube stuff as a joke. Like I've got Cube socks.
Oh yeah.
I've got a little hat.
You have your own Cube backpack?
Ugh, I hate Cube and his dead eyes.
Oh, he's the worst.
But yeah, so, I mean, if you guys have some things you want to talk about, let us know. Just check out, assuming at this point you've seen it all. So hopefully you have some input that you'd like to give us to talk about.
Great. Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
This has been an Anime Happy Hour production.